and the other people are for a free Tibet. This is frozen for 40 years. They're all for doing something about the waters. So I said, water protectors, just like Standing Rock. And so they all have the attitude, China, they're such bums, monsters. They did all these horrible things to us. And man, did they do horrible things. Mao had many great things about him, and he led a great revolution. And he led a great revolution against the Third International and Stalin on the basis of peasant revolts. And he defeated the horrors of Japanese genocide in China, which is as monstrous as it gets, and American imperialism, which is disgusting, or beneath disgusting. The Life magazine headline in 1950 about the Chinese regime, which had just taken power, was "Commies Eat Babies." Wow. They're just like Republicans about Barack Obama. He black. I mean, they say many other things, but that's what it means. And the election of Trumpiola, he not black. So in Tibet, there has been very considerable resistance, but the thought is we are allied with the people who are downriver from China. And the Chinese damming is cutting off their water. The Indian damming is cutting off the water that nurtures the Sundarbans in Bangladesh. There are immense possibilities of water wars in Asia, with the U.S. arming, by the way, various people to the teeth. We used to arm Pakistan to the teeth. The Chinese helped with that. The Pakistanis got nuclear weapons. Now we're into India. But what the Tibetan water protectors need to see is that the Yellow River has dried out. The Chinese bureaucrats who are into this engineering thing, they want to take the Yangtze, both of which come from the Yarlung Tsangpo up in Tibet, and reroute it upward toward the sky to re-water the Yellow River. Now, you could protect the environment and honor the earth, not the fucking Chinese, man. None of this Taoism for us, I'll tell you. So this was Mao's great error, mirroring the Soviets and the Americans to be the great dam builder. And it has had disastrous consequences, and this is a disastrous consequence. Could the Tibetans, as water protectors, speak to the millions of people who have lost their water along the Yellow River? Could the Tibetans speak to the millions of Chinese who have protested against the dams because they've been driven out of their homes? I mentioned one dam and 1.3 million people. You damn well bet. Could the Tibetans reach out to many, many people in China? I mean, after all, even the children of bureaucrats and builders have to breathe the air and drink the water. Gosh, they could, couldn't they? Just like at Standing Rock, the international coalition which is forming around them, so in Tibet, the Tibetan water protectors. So anyway, I talked about this there and wrote a poem about it. I put up on my blog and some other stuff. And then I wrote an article for the Daily Beast, and they're not so upset with me because the main editors took out the headline that Hillary won 4 swing states and the election was a hoax. And they just had the article, how do we know our elections are fair? Wow. So that was a big thing to take out. It was too hot to handle, just saying something true about the elections. But anyway, it's fine. It looks like this article is going to be in there, and that is to do honor to the people I talked to with my students in Dharamsala. And actually, right now, a lot of people from Tibet have managed to come to listen to the Dalai Lama, who's teaching about the He's doing the Colo chakra initiation from January 3rd to the 17th. And I was very sorry that I couldn't stay and hear it. And it's pretty big stuff. And there are a lot of people, some will go back to China. And the truth is that lots of people in China can learn that the people at the top of the world are trying to protect the water. And we ought to learn it, because if we don't do enough honor to the indigenous people here, and we're not worried about what we get to drink, because after all, they're not going to sell us water, right? I mean, listen, Wells Fargo, I used to be a client there. The only thing they didn't charge us for was breathing the air. They were working on that, right? No, I mean, either the human race is going to be put out of business shortly by American business, or American business is going to be altered. It doesn't have to be put out of business, although, frankly, I would prefer it be put out of business. I don't like American business. But I'll just say, Bernie's a moderate.
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt you. There's a guy that just got out of the military out here asking for assistance. And he's right outside the front door. So I said, you've got the perfect group in here, because we're just here with the choir, so.
That's right.
Sorry to interrupt you.
So to finish the very last sentence, but that's good to go out and help the guy. What is happening in Asia affects the whole world. It is much more serious than what is happening here at the moment. It is much more dangerous than what is happening here at the moment. And if we don't all act together and we don't take into account the Tibetan water protectors, we're not going to have a planet to talk about in which there will be human life. So Bernie stands for doing something about that. And I would just say, at this point, if the Democratic Party is anything, it's Bernie. And I've forgotten Keith's last name. Ellison. Yeah, we'll have to see which way the Democratic Party goes. And Barack has lined up on the wrong side. And most of the Democrats. And if we don't light a fire under them, we don't communicate this issue, that really it's survival here. It isn't like, oh, we can just do this. It's already, by the way, the latest thing is that people are looking to China to heal the environment because they're going green. Because the U.S. is so creepy, especially under Trump. Think of that. Looking to China to heal the world. The people of the world better heal the world, because otherwise we won't have a world. Okay. Questions? Thank you.